During gym class, Cody grabbed my arm and whispered, "Meet me in the woods after school or I'll make you regret it." I was stupid enough to actually go. Cody was the kid everyone avoided because he wore a dog collar with metal spikes and scratched at his arms until they bled. A few months ago, I helped him pick up his dropped books, and he looked at me with these intense eyes and said, "You're not like the others. You're part of my pack now." The next week, I opened my locker and a dead bird fell out wrapped in notebook paper with "For you" scrawled in red marker. I showed it to the principal and she sighed and said, "Do you have proof it was Cody?" I didn't. The dead squirrel the next week also came with no proof. Neither did the mangled thing I found the week after that, which I couldn't even identify. My friend Nick watched me change routes between classes and said, "You're being paranoid. He's just weird. He's not dangerous." I wanted to believe that until I felt Cody's breath on my neck in English class and heard him whisper, "I can smell your fear. It makes me hungry." I started eating lunch locked in a bathroom stall to avoid him. Last Monday, I found a note in my backpack that said, "The full moon is coming soon," in scratchy handwriting. Tuesday's note said, "We'll be together when I transform." I showed them to my mom at dinner and she barely looked up from her phone. "It sounds like someone has a crush on you. Just tell a teacher if he makes you too uncomfortable." I wanted to scream that I had told 3 teachers already. Thursday in gym class, Cody cornered me by the equipment cage and whispered, "Meet me in the woods after school or I'll make you regret it." I spent my last class staring at my phone debating whether to just go home, but every time I imagined not showing up, I pictured him waiting at my house instead. At least in the woods, there would be space to run. I texted my location to Nick with, "If I don't text you by 4 p.m., call the police," and walked toward the tree line. The woods went back almost a mile and swallowed sound quickly. Once I was 20 feet in, I could barely hear the parking lot anymore. I found Cody sitting in front of a den made of branches, trash bags, and old blankets duct taped together. He looked up and smiled, showing too many teeth. "I knew you'd come because you're part of my pack. Pack members don't abandon each other." I took a step back and said, "Cody, people are worried about you. Maybe we should go talk to someone." But he wasn't listening. He stood and gestured to the den like a tour guide and said, "I've been building it for weeks. I sleep here most nights because they don't understand me at home." He reached in and pulled out 2 sleeping bags, a cooler, water bottles. My chest got tight. He said, "I brought enough supplies for both of us to stay here for a few days. Once the full moon comes tonight, everything will make sense to you." I backed up and said, "I need to go home." His face changed from excited to something darker, and he reached back into the den. His hand came out holding a rope. "I knew you might try to run before you understood, so I brought this to keep you safe until the transformation happens." My hand went to my phone in my pocket, but when he saw the movement, his eyes went wild. I turned and ran, but he grabbed my jacket and yanked me backward hard enough that I hit the ground. I screamed and swung my backpack at his face and heard the crack of impact. He made this sound that wasn't human and dropped onto all 4s. Blood was running from his nose and he didn't even seem to notice. I said, "Cody, please," but he was already lunging at me with his fingers curved like claws and dirt under his nails. I got my knee up and hit him in the stomach and he rolled off long enough for me to scramble up. I ran as fast as I could, hearing him behind me on all 4s howling like an animal. I burst out of the tree line and called 911 with shaking hands. The police found Cody 2 hours later sitting in his den making whimpering sounds. I found out later his stepfather had been beating him for months. The werewolf thing was the only way he could feel powerful instead of helpless.